All right, there we go. We are recording. Say hi, everyone. Say hi, Schmoop.
Hello.
Hello.
Hey.
Hi. Well, that's a big headshot right there. How you doing?
I'll do a mic check.
Nice, the loudspeaker.
So do you want to invite people over?
Yeah, I'm gonna mic check and get.
Hello.
Jill, if you need me to hold anything, just
And do you want me to
want me to grab that?
What's up, Mr. Friedemann?
No, you need to have a seat, buddy boy Floyd. You need to have a seat.
So I'm steady?
Those raisins, not you. Not you, him.
Oh.
Should we get somebody that's gonna be filming already?
What do I know? I'm filming it.
Okay.
I'm trying.
All right.
Okay.
Mic check. Mic check. Thank you for coming to the March Against Monsanto. This is the first March Against Monsanto that I know of in
People
Tampa.
taking pictures.
I know. Pictures of pictures.
And this definitely will not be the last March Against Monsanto. So everybody please gather around if you would like to hear the former Green Party presidential candidate of 2012, Joe Stein, speak. And we also have handouts too for the march, like the march pass and other things to remember, but I'll get into that later. Here's presidential candidate, or former presidential candidate, Jill Stein.
Yeah, so thank you all for coming out. This is what democracy looks like. This is what a healthy food system looks like.
Down, 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 down.
This is what survival for our farmers looks like. This is what survival for food looks like. Because what Monsanto and the GMOs are doing is absolutely nuts, and we're not going to let them get away with it. By any reason alone, Monsanto has to be stopped. And as more and more people are waking up to that, we are becoming an absolutely unstoppable force. So I want to thank you for being that force. And what we do to take back our food system, to take back our seeds, to take back life itself, is what we must also do for our democracy, for our education system, for peace, international law, and human rights. But this brings it home in a way that's very upfront and personal. This is about what we are eating. This is about whether we are going to have a food system at all. This is about whether our food system is built out of poison and frankenfood. And it's outrageous that Monsanto has been able to engineer its way basically to a coup. They have created a coup behind closed doors. They have spent about $250 million. Monsanto and the other GMO companies have spent $250 billion, approximately, more than that actually, over the past decade on lobbying and campaign contributions. They have basically bought their way through a corrupt political system, making it more corrupt as they went in order to have engineered this coup behind closed doors. I was shocked myself in just doing some reading over the past week. I was absolutely shocked what went on over the past year or two while my eyes were distracted looking the other way. The fact that 90% of our soy now is GMO and 80% of our corn, and actually over 50% of all commercial seeds now are GMO, and in fact under control companies. That is a disaster waiting to happen. Life has gone on for quite some time. It's about 6 billion years, okay, that life has been here on the planet. And one rule that life follows is that the capacity to keep life going, that is seeds, that is the reproductive capacity of life forms, must be diverse, must be decentralized, must be broadly diffused. Those societies or those organisms or species that have not followed that basic principle of life, which is biodiversity, those who have not, they can be described by one word: extinct. If we do not want our food supply to go extinct and us with it, we need biodiversity. You don't get biodiversity if our food system is in the clutches of 3 companies. What if those 3 companies have suddenly gone belly up? Or what if their procedures have suddenly been found to be absolutely toxic, which in fact they are? You know, where are we? You know, where we are right now is that we need to declare an immediate moratorium on GMOs and start an immediate... We need to begin phasing them out immediately for several reasons. One is that this concept of a concentrated, homogenized, uniform seed system is a disaster waiting to happen. It may actually already be in the works right now. As you may know, that we have a desperate seed shortage. Even the GMO seeds are short. And they are not turning out to do what they have been billed to do. They are not, in fact, reducing our water requirement. They are not, in fact, holding back the weeds. What they've done is exactly the opposite. They have created now whole new strands of super weeds, which then require more and more toxic pesticides. And guess what? Anybody eating GMO corn, which is basically anybody who eats corn products, because it's all GMO, is getting exposed to pesticides, not just because of what's on it, but because the corn takes up glyphosate, Roundup Ready. Roundup Ready GMO corn means there's Roundup in it. And the question, or I should say the reality, is that we, the people, human beings, are anything but Roundup Ready. We are ready to stop Roundup. It turns out, oh, by the way, because this stuff is completely untested, they have basically prohibited testing of it, which is, you know, it is totally crazy making. They prohibited testing by controlling the supply and by having defined GMO products as substantially equivalent to food. So it prohibits testing of this GMO pesticide complex, which is what it is, because Roundup, that is glyphosate, is taken up by the plant and distributed throughout the plant, including in the seeds. That is the part that we eat. So every one of us who eats that food has that Roundup going into us, and we are not Roundup ready. We know that Roundup, because as a pesticide it has some testing, unlike the GMOs, which do not have testing except what Monsanto wants to do, and that is not scientific testing. We know that the pesticides, what little data there is, shows that in fact there are very dangerous things about glyphosate. That it, for example, studies have shown that it greatly increases the risks of non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, which is not a cancer to sneeze at. This is one of the rising environmental cancers, which are very serious, very dangerous, and no doubt comes back in part to the broad exposures to things like glyphosate and Roundup Ready through GMO corn. So it's very important that we put a moratorium immediately. No new GMO products, no new GMO fields, no advancement of GMOs whatsoever. And at the same time, we begin an immediate phase out of all GMOs and a transition to healthy, sustainable, community-based organic farming, which is the first system we deserve. We can have it all. We can actually have farmers, we can have a healthy food system, and in fact, GMOs, as you probably know, are one of the major drivers of climate change, because as forests and wetlands are being mowed down and converted into GMO fields, including GMO ethanol, this is one of the major contributors to carbon dioxide emissions. And as we move food around in this globalized industrial food economy, that's part of this disaster in the making right now with climate change. We saw just a couple of weeks ago these unprecedented forest fires in California that we usually see at the end of a long, hot, dry summer. Now they are happening at the very beginning before we've even hit summer. So climate change, is upon us. We know that also from the superstorms, and we have broken all record in the last 2 years, in 2012 and 2011. We broke records for the number of billion-dollar storms that have hit our shores. So climate change has come home to roost. One of the major drivers here is our food system. So we badly need to transition now to a food system that will put our small farmers back to work instead of putting them out of business. Let's put them back to work. The small farms are better not only for our food economy, but for our water, for people. A recent study showed, for example, among families, farming families, it was like almost 100%, like some 78 kids that were tested, and they all had signs of Roundup in their bodies related to the use of Roundup-ready crops. So it's not only better for our economy, it's better for people, it's better for our planet, and it is better for our democracy to get these gigantic multinational corporations out of the FDA. Michael, if you are interested, by the way, I should just let you in on the Green Shadow Cabinet, because you know who the head of the FDA is in the Green Shadow Cabinet? It's Ronnie Cummings, who's head of the Organic Consumers Association. So, lots of democracies around the world create a shadow cabinet after the election so that the opposition can continue to fight for what we the people need. So we do have a shadow cabinet now that's doing the right thing, and that is fighting. When you get really pissed off and you feel like government is the enemy number one, go to greenshadowcabinet.us and you will see how incredibly empowering it is to think that we can have a government that's actually of, by, and for the people instead of, by, and for the corporations. Yeah. So that is the power that we have, and that is the power that you have created, because you have created nothing less than a miracle over the last couple of years that the healthy food movement, the organic food movement, has been educating about the dangers of GMO. We have gained not just a public majority, but almost unanimous public support. 91% of people want to see food labeling mandatory of all GMO products. And I guess there's a petition here, so be sure to go to that guy in the straw hat and sign that petition, because we need to get labeling right now. It is one of the things we should have immediately. People are educated about it, and the minute we have labeling, the GMOs are out of business. They're fighting labeling. keep fighting to stop the Monsanto Protection Act and to repeal it. To require labeling, to require green jobs now instead of this nonsense about the debt. We need to be creating jobs, and that includes green jobs in the healthy, organic, local food economy and supporting our farmers, and the immediate transition we need from industrial agriculture to sustainable, healthy agriculture. That's the win. As well as clean, renewable energy. And if we just put a tax on Wall Street and move to a Medicare for all system, and downsize the military, we have more than the money that we need to create that green economy right now. And while we're at it, we put an end to climate change and we make wars for oil and markets obsolete. And while we're at it, we bail out the students and not the banks. Public higher education in many countries around the world is free. It should be in this country as well. It more than pays for itself. We know that because after the GI Bill, when higher education became really important, we paid for it. And in fact, for every dollar that we, the public, put into public higher education and our college students, $7 was returned in economic benefits. That's a 7-to-1 margin. You can't get that in any other area of the economy, in any other investment. We need to be investing in our young people who are our economy and are our future. So if we can get rid of student debt now and make college free. This movement here to stop GMOs is so powerful because it is unstoppable. It is rolling forward 1,000,000 miles an hour. We are going to do it, so let's get out there. Let's make it happen. Thank you so much for being here.
Wasn't that awesome? Thank you very much, Jill Stein, for being here. And thank everybody else for being here even more, because this movement would be nothing without any of you.